start recording.
Great. Good evening. Thank you for coming through the snow globe. We are going to call the meeting to order, and I'm going to look over your shoulder and see what exact
5:06.
5:06. 5:06. Thank you very much. All right. Generally, this is where I would read the open comment statement, but
There is no public.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to skip that part. Okay, and so we do have a new board member, a new RAB member, and first name is Nancy. Last name I do not know how to pronounce, and I was going to ask her to pronounce it, but she's not online. She's not here yet. So she hopefully will be joining us from White River High School. Oh, do you know Nancy?
Nope.
By any chance? You
North.
You might have known her. All right. Okay. Never mind. So hopefully she'll join us at some point. Okay. So last time we met, we talked about some of the new projects that were coming down the pike, and so I just have some updates on some of those projects to get us started. Construction, electrical, and diversified agriculture are working together to create a farm stand. And so it's in the works. It's pretty cute. They refurbished a trailer that had been sitting out back for a long time. It needed some welding and some different parts. And so they ordered some parts, they made some parts, and worked together to get it into good working order. It now has a base and it has 2 walls, and a community member was giving away some really cool windows, and so our construction trades teacher went and grabbed those windows, and so we just put in order for roofing materials, and it's going to be good. So that is in the works. Construction trades is also working on these really nice firewood sheds. They built 3 of them as their first class project, and they've sold 2 of them. There's one for sale still if anyone's interested. It's $950 and it's posted. There are some progress pictures posted on our Facebook page. Yep, so there is still one left. I mentioned last time that Culinary Arts was going to be starting back up with their takeaway meal program that they've done in the past. And so the order form will be coming soon, and that is coming through Google Forms. And so anyone in the community can come and grab the the Culinary Arts meals. The idea was that eventually you'd be able to pick them up at the farm stand, but we're not quite ready for that. They haven't finished it yet, so it will be picking up at the school. And they are also making Thanksgiving pies, and so that order form is going to be available on Facebook and the Parent Square very soon. There's 4 different types of pies that people can order online in time for the holidays.
Are these, excuse me, these
Yes.
2 forms also on the website?
Not on the website. We post all of upcoming events and fun things like that are on our Facebook. So yes, but thank you for asking. And so that's the update there. Clayton is going to talk about our planned adult education programs because he manages adult education at RTCC. So I'm going to hand it to you.
It's really exciting. One of the things that we have planned is for criminal justice, our instructor is going to be looking into having a Part 107 drone certification, and not just like a drone certification that is a typical one where you would just go through an online process and then you would have to buy the drone and do everything yourself. It's basically inclusive all in one, where we have 3 different sets of drones. They all have specific capabilities. Some are thermal capabilities, some are high altitude, some are smaller in size. And essentially what we're gonna do is we're gonna give people hands-on time with these drones. So they don't have to have any background knowledge of drones. We'll show them all the different capabilities, give them a lot of hands-on work, and then from there, we'll help them make sure that they get the Part 107 certification. Right now, we're working with some industry partners in the area, specifically with law enforcement and fire rescue, And so that's going to be our first class. That'll be our first class, working with them.
If you need locations to fly, let me know.
Absolutely, right.
Ooh.
So this whole area is a great area. The one area we were looking to see if we could expand in the future up towards the airport in Barry is a no-fly zone, so within a 25-mile radius of any airport or any hospital with a helipad. So anywhere else is potentially a good area, so we can offer those courses out there with that hands-on. Secondly, we are looking at the LNA certification. We're working right now with instructors to figure out the right times for the LNA certification, when they can provide that instruction. And so those are things that we're really excited about.
Yes, thank you. So just to elaborate on that a little bit, we did meet with the head of the Vermont Board of Nursing to talk with him about what's required, and he feels that we have a really good site with good resources already in the building to offer the LNA to adults. And we currently have one interested teacher, and we're looking for a second. So I don't know if anyone knows anybody that might be interested in being a second LNA instructor, but looking for someone with a bachelor's degree, and they must have experience working with elderly or within a nursing home setting, at least 1 year experience. So that's an important thing. Yeah, that's looking really good, and we think it's probably going to be a 12-week course, and it would be 2 days a week for 4 hours each for 12 weeks, something along those lines. It might be a little more, a little less, but that's about what we're looking at right now. So that's an exciting development, because there definitely was a lot of interest in the LNA program, and from the RAB, I feel, and so this is a really great way to make it available to anyone who's actually interested. We still haven't had a lot of interest in application-wise. We did open our application at the beginning of October. I think maybe I had one person that put it as their second choice. But among students, it doesn't seem to be a high-demand career that people are really looking for. But I think, from what I'm hearing from parents, that adults are very interested in it, but kids not as much. So this would still serve the community in a really positive way and make it possible for anyone to take the test. Though I'm told that you need to be 18 in order to sit for the LNA test. So that's another kind of problem with having it as a high school program, is that they can do the program, but then they have to wait to take the test. And, you know, with that year, if you're 17 when you do the program, then you wait a year, unless you do the program when you're 18, so that would be your senior year. But if you do your junior year, there's that gap of information that could be lost because you haven't practiced and you're not in the class. So the nice thing about the LNA program is that you're most likely already going to be an adult when you do that as an adult ed student. So I think that will really work with the community, and also will allow us a direct pipeline to Gifford and Menig, so that our students can do their clinicals there. So working on that for this winter. Exciting upcoming event, we have our winter market on Friday, November 21st. I do want to note that there was a typo on the original agenda that went out, and the date was wrong. The 21st is the date, from 10 to 1 p.m., not 12 to 1. So 10 to 1 on the 21st. Current enrollment is 109. Just share that. And now I'll bring us to our budget update. And so for our budget, as we go through the budgeting process, our first budget will include, or does include, everything that we want to have for next year. And as we go through different iterations of the budget, it may change, right? So, but this first budget proposal includes a health careers instructor, an automotive technology instructor, and the continuation of the criminal justice program. And basically what's going to happen is we've moved up our recruitment efforts 2 months. So we're starting next week. And usually we don't start until the beginning of January, just so that it's a little bit closer to the spring, because what I have found is that kids have a hard time thinking about what they're going to do next year when it's still before Christmas. However, I've also learned that other tech centers tend to open up their applications earlier, which means that sometimes students will choose a program at a sending school that's closer to them rather than applying to something else that they might be interested in that only we offer, such as criminal justice, because they want to make sure that they definitely get into a program. They don't want to miss out on that opportunity at their sending tech center. So we're trying something different this year, and we are going to do everything at the same time as everyone else and see how that goes. And so we opened up our application. We already have several applicants for next year, mostly students who are currently enrolled who want to come back and have, first dibs on the program of their choice, especially pre-tech students who know what they want to do because they've been through all the different programs so far. But we also do have some brand new to us students who've applied as well. And so we're going to be going, within the next 3 weeks, we're going to be going to 3 out of 4 sending schools, with RU being the only remaining school that we have to schedule right now for our main sending schools. And then by the end of December, we'll have a much better idea of which programs are meeting the Perkins numbers that we need in order to receive funding from the state. So the state wants to see 8 students per program. Under certain circumstances, 7 students in a program would be okay if you had a plan for how you're going to increase that number. So we, of course, will have a plan if we come to that point. We have one program currently that is not meeting the 7 threshold. And so we do have a plan for how we are going to market that program. And so I would like to share a little bit about that and take in any suggestions that you guys might have. So that program is criminal justice. So they currently have 5 students. So obviously 2 students away from the 7, 3 away from the 8 that the state really wants to see. The program can fit up to 16 students. Demographics of the class are currently all female students, all returning students except for 1. So everyone is in their 2nd year of this program except for 1 student. So we currently have 3 students that are looking to enroll for next year already. So we need a few more to get it there to that 7 threshold, but obviously we want more. And so this teacher has this very unique capability, which is that he's, as far as we know, the only person with this particular license that can teach this to adults and students, the Part 107 drone certification. He's going to be doing the adult education program that Clayton mentioned. And he has this very unique background that combines technology and law enforcement. And we think that when we recruit, if we bring that instructor and have him bring his drones for a demonstration, that we think it will get some interest from students. Really, we need 5 students. No, 4 students, and we'd be in a really good place, or in a good place. So 5 would be great, or more. So the plan is that he and his students, there's one day when his students are going to be taking the first aid and CPR certification test, so they can't come that day, but he will be there that day, and he will be there with his students all of the other days that we go and recruit. I've asked him to come and bring his drones and do a demonstration with the drones to show the students what they can do. And talk about the IRCs and the different ways that they can be used. And there's so many different careers that you might use them in: construction, real estate, law enforcement, photography. There's so many different things that you might use drones for. I'm hoping that once people see him and see his exciting IRC that he's offering, that we will get that interest and have students sign up. I'm really hoping. I can't imagine that it won't. But I am definitely open to suggestions and ideas from you all if you have thoughts on how to increase excitement around that program, and also to allow that program to continue at RTCC, because if we don't get enough students for criminal justice, we may have to have another meeting that's a non-scheduled meeting to request it to be put on hold. And it would just be such a shame. We have invested money in this. The teacher has really dedicated himself to becoming an expert in something that is just this like niche, cool thing, and he wants to train other people on how to do it. And the students do receive this IRC as well as the adults that will be partaking in the adult ed class. So does anybody have any ideas or further suggestions, anything you want to share or think about on this topic?
Is the program still doing a fair amount of cybersecurity as well?
No.
No.
No, it does not include cybersecurity. It's straight up criminal justice.
Okay.
Have you guys talked with the Randolph PD to maybe like offer, I don't know what the rules are surrounding like ride-alongs during the day? Is that a thing that you're allowed to do?
Yes, ride-alongs are a thing. They're pretty much, though, like one-offs. Like, you can go out and you can do it, but it's not a co-op. And so that's one of the things that maybe makes this program a little bit less interesting to students, is that your second year, it's very difficult at their age. They're not 18. It's
Mhm.
very difficult for them to get a co-op.
Have you thought about reaching out to Vermont University to see if maybe the students could shadow a security officer up at the college overnight or something like that?
They definitely can't do anything overnight, but
okay.
they could be in security, but we keep running into you need to be 18 to do
Okay.
security. But I mean, it's a good idea. We looked into co-ops at Gifford, but they only have security in the evenings, so it would have to be like during school hours.
Yeah.
But it's a good idea.
Are
and-
there any security companies that might, like, that work during the day that may be able to assist with, like, oh, you know what?
Do you know
I might have a
somebody?
connection. I know a gentleman in Bethel that actually teaches a class on home invasions and how to
Really?
protect your home. I will reach out to him.
That's really interesting. And if nothing else, it would be interesting to have him come in and talk to the students.
He's
or to
he's
see-
retared, but he does
Okay.
this on the side.
Oh, that's really cool.
So I'll reach out and
Thank
see
you.
if he's interested. Yeah.
That's very cool. I appreciate that. The students are very, very dedicated to the program that they're in. It's a really unique group of ladies who are really interested in the law. They're really interested in history. They read a lot about different court cases and different things that that affect law enforcement, different cases, criminal cases. They're always doing something really interesting. And they have this full-sized, like, dummy. And they do, like, drills, and they carry this guy out of the building and, like, through courses, and, like, they're really well trained, and they really believe in the law and in the criminal justice system. They're pretty cool, dedicated people, as is the instructor. And so I really want to see this whole program be successful and continue to have it. So if you have any other thoughts, let me know. Definitely looking for ideas there.
Have you contacted the police academy at all?
Tell me more.
I can speak to that. So, yeah, we have contacted the police academy. And, you know, one of the biggest challenges with law enforcement is you have to be certified, and you have to go through a certain process. So we would love to have our kids out there working with dispatchers. There's a level of privacy there, and there's a level of, like, a psychological background check that you have to go through to make sure that you can handle and be under that type of pressure. So we would love to have them working in call centers. We would love to have them working with.
Sorry, that's not what I mean. So I used to
Oh,
be a
sorry.
police officer. That's
Okay.
what you're
Really?
asking. I went through the police academy.
Sure.
And
Oh,
so
awesome.
what I'm wondering is more of like, is that another opportunity for them to go on like a field trip for a day? They have, like when the canine trainers are
Sure.
down there and they're working with the dogs, could they go and like watch the dogs training? Or, you know,
I would-
when
I would
the
think so.
prison guards go, they go for a week. And so like, could that be something where they participate in part of the day?
Oh, yeah, so specifically to that, I don't know the answer to that, but
Yeah.
I think,
That's
of
a really
course, I
cool
think
idea.
that is something that's reasonable. I don't
And
see
then,
why they wouldn't
I mean,
be.
they could at least, if they're seriously thinking about going into law enforcement, they would see, well, this is what the academy is actually like.
Yeah,
Right.
sure,
You know.
agreed, 100%.
And just
Oh,
the
yeah.
different resources they have there and how it all works.
For sure, yes. I mean, I think they're all looking to go pretty much into the field. They're very, very, very dedicated. I will find out to what degree, I know that on their advisory board, there are several officers, and they have done ride-alongs with Randolph Police, and I believe other police as well. I'm not sure if Clayton knows the exact, which stations have done that, but we keep running into them not being 18.
Yes.
And, which I understand. The cool thing, I think that's a really good focus is just the drone piece, using that to attract kids into a field that's a high-need field, and getting them to sign up for the program now rather than waiting until after high school. So, yeah, if you have any connections that you think would be good for us to speak to.
I don't know who's still down there.
Okay.
It's been a while, because
That's
I went
fair.
through in 2008. But I think if you just call down there,
Yeah.
you know, I'm sure there's,
Thank you.
there's some just different options and different trainings that they do. It's not just, you know, the first years, you know, they have different things going on all the time.
I think
so-
they'd be super interested in anything having to do with canines, too.
And two, if it's something they're going to end up doing, it's really scary to drive up that hill, you know, your first day and
I
not
bet.
know the campus, not know anything. And so even if they have the experiences of just seeing what the
Going
layout
there.
is like, seeing, you know, what they're getting into. you
Totally.
know?
Totally.
Entering a boot camp at the military base, right?
Yeah.
for sure.
Your first day, you don't, it
You're
would be
like, what did
nice
I
to
sign up
go
for?
before people are yelling at you, screaming at you, throwing things at you, yeah.
That's the fun part, though.
That does sound fun.
Not if you're an 18-year-old kid.
Right.
Yeah.
Yikes. Okay, thank you so much for that. I love that idea, and we'll definitely speak to the instructor tomorrow about it. Thank you. Okay, so back to, let's see, automotive technology. We'll know more about that. I have not had any applicants. It's been posted for a very long time.
Applicants for the job.
Automotive.
posting, teacher.
Right, yes, thank you, yes.
And
Yes,
that is
for
a
the
class that
instructor.
we have traditionally filled.
Yes, yes, that's right. Yep, and then health careers, same thing. I think I'm due to repost that one, but yeah.
Didn't you guys
it's-
have a tentative, wasn't there somebody who was like interested, but then what happened,
Uh-huh.
oh dear.
Yeah, we had a really nice candidate, but it turned out that she preferred to work part-time and not full-time. And we were like, well, it's a full-time job because it's a school. And so she was coming from industry and used to working 3 12-hour days, something like that, or 4 12-hour days, and was like, oh, I like have that extra day and day and a half. And I was like, yes, but we have students here every day. So that didn't unfortunately work out. But again, the interest from the kids is not there. It's not there yet to run that program, even if I had the teacher. But the interest for the LNA, I think, is going to be huge. I was talking to someone who said that they were on a wait list for quite some time to get into their own LNA program. This is a parent, and she just started. She said she waited for 3 years. So I don't have like details on why did you wait 3 years, or,
The program that the college has? Isn't that LNA or
No,
what
it's
is that?
LPN.
Oh, okay.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if they had
The tech
multiple
centers are
levels,
usually
you know.
where you pick up the LNA. Berry,
you can pick up the
Berry
medical
Tech has
assistant.
the adult, right, and the medical
You
assistant.
can do the medical assistant.
And some of the
LNA.
hospitals now are desperate, so they're doing LNAs. through the hospital and MAs through the
That's right.
hospital system.
That's right.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and I know that because last year I was trying to get us hooked up with Menig and Gifford. If I don't know, Renee, if you were here at that point, you might have been, but I know you were, Ann, for sure. I don't think you were yet, Colin, but they had said last winter that there was a really good chance that we would be able to do the LNA program through them, and then we met with them they needed some time to look at the curriculum and see if the curriculum lined up, and then they decided it didn't, and then the people that we were talking to just no longer worked there after that, and so the connection was lost, and but they had told us before that happened that it wasn't going to work out for last year. So the connection we have now, though, is a very good connection, and we've already had the meeting to say, okay, this is the candidate, this is the person that we want to do it. Now, they said they needed 2 weeks to reach out to the state and see if that nurse could be the teacher of record, because we need a second person too. So we need to know if the second person also needs to have a bachelor's degree or higher and have also worked in a nursing home, or if it could be someone who is an RN even without nursing home experience, if the teacher of record. It's still complicated. So we got to that point where we have one instructor, we need to split the 8 hours a week. So one would do 4 hours and the other would do 4 hours. So we're just waiting for a few answers, but it's looking good. So looking better than it did last year for sure. Anyways, sorry, I went off on a tangent. So we'll know more about student interest in health careers and criminal justice towards the end of December after we do our recruitment tour. The week of January 5th, if it comes down to it that we don't have enough folks signed up for criminal justice, and I guess we'd have to talk about health careers too. Yeah, we would have to have a meeting the week of January 5th, if you're all hopefully willing to do so, either in person or via Google Meet. And so we talked about the LNA program. Oh, and so this is a new piece that I wanted to talk to you about. So we are, of course, every year we apply for Perkins funding. So this coming year I'll be applying for FY27. And the proposal that I would like to propose to the Agency of Education for the Perkins grant would be to use the money from the Perkins grant to hire a teacher instructional coach, and their role would be okay, let me back up. So our teachers are coming right from industry, right? So they haven't necessarily gone through a program to become teachers, although a couple of them are finishing up their programs this year, literally 2 of them. So the rest of the teachers are in a program of some kind. And so they are learning to become teachers, and they're learning things like making a lesson plan and how to manage discipline in a classroom and goal setting for students, like a lot of basic things that you would know if you were a teacher or if you've gone through a teacher prep program. And so what we have is a combination of students who maybe struggled in many ways in their sending school. We have 53% students with educational plans. And then we have teachers who are learning on the job to be instructors. And so this combination leads to the potential for sometimes missed opportunities for correcting behaviors, or sometimes there could be things that, when you're a first-year teacher, you do things in a particular way, and then when you're a second and third and fourth and fifth-year teacher, you look back and you go, I can't believe I used to do it like that. Now I know to do this. Now I know to front-load this information, or I know to pre-teach these vocabulary words so they understand what they're doing. But in your first year, you might not know that, and that's even after having gone through a teacher prep program. So what we need is someone, Clayton runs around all day trying to help teachers learn best practices and try to, do everything in the best possible way, but he is just one person doing a lot of that work. And so we really could use a teacher instructional coach that can help our teachers on the job watch, observe, and then say, hey, have you thought about doing something like this? Have you thought about addressing that situation in this way? Have you thought about, here's another way that you could help that student understand how to do X, Y, and Z that maybe they wouldn't have become escalated if you maybe did it like this. So someone whose job it is to really focus on helping the teachers become just better at their job alongside their teacher prep programs that they're in. It just, in all aspects, all the learning that takes place. And our teachers are young at teaching, or they're new, you know what I mean? They're young in their careers. So we think that it would really cut down on behavioral challenges and help teachers differentiate educational practices for students with educational plans and classroom management and all the things. And the funny thing about tech centers is that you have this industry professional who knows their trade so well. And then you have them come into a classroom and you've got teenagers who are like super excited to learn and also have tons of energy. And then you tell the teacher, okay, not only do you need to teach them the thing that these kids really want to learn and that you know really well, but you also need to teach them math, science, social studies, social emotional learning. What did I miss? English, everything else. And so it's almost like you're an elementary school teacher in a lot of ways because you're one teacher in one room teaching all of the subjects plus your trade. And it's a big lift for somebody who hasn't received the training to do it. And so we really could use some extra support. And so that's our proposed plan for Perkins funding for this upcoming year.
What is it currently used for in this budget?
In this budget, it's used for IRCs. It had been used, not this
What are
year.
IRCs?
Oh, I'm sorry, industry recognized credentials.
Okay.
So like the testing fees for the various tests that they take within each program to get certifications. Let's see, IRCs classes, if they, not actually as much. We have training for teachers coming up in this budget. So this Perkins grant has not yet been approved, so that's why I'm kind of like hesitant. Like, these are the things that we've proposed. Marzano resources for teacher training within the classroom is one of the proposals on the Perkins grant, and then Collins writing for ELA integration. And then we have an area of equity and access that we're trying to figure out. Like, we basically accept everyone that applies. We have plenty of seats for everyone, but we struggle sometimes with the pieces about equity. Like, we want to make sure that we have, more female students in our electrical program, as an example, or more female students in construction. Right now we have one in each. And so there is an equity conference that it was suggested by the state that we send some folks to that to help us think about new ways to kind of attract students that are non-traditional for their programs. So that, and that's pretty much everything. The big cost is training teachers.
Right, so how are you going to pay for that if the funding goes for the instructional coach?
So that's this year's Perkins, what I just described.
Right, so what I'm
So this
talking
would
about
be
is.
next year's Perkins.
Right, so what I'm saying is you're spending money now on all of these things.
Mhm.
If you
For
end up
FY26.
taking on an instructional coach.
That
that's
wouldn't
gonna-
be till next year for FY27.
Right, I understand.
Oh.
So then if that's going to eat up most of that money,
No, it won't. Two separate pots.
okay, because I'm seeing 154,000 for Perkins.
No, I'm not sure where you're looking, but so I'm talking about like the Perkins grant that we're
Right,
still
so-
working on FY26 6 right now.
Yeah, because it's, on here it says Perkins loan, this year's budget 154, and next year's budget 154.
Yes, that's accurate. But so for FY '26, which we're still waiting on having that approved, that's where we're doing the teacher training. And it's all budgeted out. So we would be able to hopefully get lots of new computers for digital media with our newest, we just got another allocation that was given to us last week. So with that, and then we would pay for the teacher training that I talked about, the IRCs and everything from FY '26 budget. For FY '27 budget, I'm talking about the instructional coach.
Right. I
think
understand that.
Many of the things that they're one-time things.
Okay.
Is essentially, so like the different trainings,
Yeah, it's just FY '26.
Right, but there, so, I mean, like Collins, for example. If everyone gets trained in Collins, and then in 3 years you have all new teachers,
Oh, that's.
then you have to start over again,
Yes.
right?
Oh,
Like-
sure, but that's not,
So-
we're just 1 year at a time with Perkins.
Okay, so then the majority of the purchases that you're putting for this year are one-time things?
Correct.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
Yes, all of them are one-time
So
things.
then
yes.
moving forward,
Mm-hmm.
where would the money come from to pay for this?
The instructional coach?
Yes.
So we would just keep using Perkins for that.
Okay.
Or we'd be at a spot where, so what we're really looking at is, as Nika's explaining, that we have inexperienced teachers.
Yes.
Needing more support.
Right.
The longer that and what keeps happening
phase
is
it
that
out.
we have a teacher 2, 3, 4 years, they don't finish their program up at the state college or the state university, and so then we're hiring again, and then we're hiring.
Mm-hmm.
So it's this pool. When we have teachers that complete and stay with us, they become better teachers, they're more
Right.
experienced and whatnot,
Right.
and so I think eventually it would be hopeful that
We
we
hope
would
to
not
phase it
have
out.
that position.
Okay, that's
Right?
that's
It's
what
not-
I was that's the term I was looking for, was
Yeah.
we hope to phase it out eventually.
Yes.
Yes.
Not, well, we're gonna keep on
Well, I mean,
spending this allotment
I
every
hope
year.
not, but also.
Well, you obviously can't guarantee it.
I can't guarantee it, right?
Correct.
And sometimes we have people like, I don't want to say, but like sometimes we have people that get 3 years into the program through the CTEP program, and they decide like teaching is not for me. I've done it for 3 years. I don't want to do it anymore. That's happened a number of times since I started 3 years ago. Or they say that they're going to, they have 2 years to complete a certain portion of their program, and they just stop going to classes. And so they just ride out the rest of their contract.
And you could also argue that having this person come in may combat some of that
Yeah,
fatigue.
definitely.
Because
Yes.
you're offering the,
Support in-house,
when you
additional
desperately
support.
need it in the classroom.
Correct.
So,
Yes. Absolutely.
Is there any, I mean, because title money is in question at this point.
We don't have title.
Has there been any federal discussions as far as cutting Perkins at all?
Nope.
Yeah, and they just passed the continuing resolution, so I'm much less worried about the title funds. So the continuing resolution that's coming out, right? I think we'll have to wait and see. Take our best guesses.
Mhm. Yeah, I was told for the foreseeable future that there's no discussion of cutting Perkins at all. So, yeah. So that's the idea that we have. And I did want to talk about current hiring needs. So we still really need a student services coordinator. So it's really a special education position, but not a typical special education position, in that this person would not write plans, and they would not be the LEA. So it's a lot of support within math and ELA classes and attending student meetings, advocating for students. But it's a really unique special ed position, so if anyone knows of anybody who might be interested in a position, please send them my way. I'm still looking for a paraprofessional. Always need subs, an automotive instructor, and a health careers instructor. If not for the program itself for next year, then for the LNA Adult Ed program. Either way, I'm looking for a health careers instructor. And you have a budget list of expenditures here. And so, let's see. So with the health careers instructor, the automotive technology instructor, and criminal justice in there, we're looking at an 8.3% increase for the tech center. And if I cut $40,000 out of the budget, I'll be at a 1% lower increase, which would be about 2.29% without health careers and criminal justice. But my real hope is that criminal justice will have enough students to run. That's absolutely the goal. So yes.
Do you currently have
Questions?
a contract for your negotiations?
Our contract is in place for next year.
Okay,
we-
so salaries are going up 14.83, new
Well, it's
money,
because
or?
we're adding new people.
Who are the new people?
So that would be the health careers, automotive, and automotive
No.
technology teacher.
Oh, my understanding was they were already in the budget.
Oh, you know what? Auto is in there. I'm wrong. Health careers.
Okay.
Yeah, those were not in the FY '26 budget, so those two positions, the health careers is the only new position.
Right.
So that position being added in addition to the increase is
Yeah,
where
okay.
it gets us there. Yep.
Yes, thank you.
Is there any impact to Perkins if more programs get cut? Like, do you get, like, if you have 10 programs
Mhm.
and then you go down to 6,
Mhm.
do you get less money because of that?
It's a really good question. So they base your Perkins funding off of your 6-semester average. So let's say you had 5 programs that were all pretty full, and you had those numbers, like let's say your numbers didn't really move, you had less programs, but you had more students within those programs, it wouldn't change anything. It's really about the number of students you have over 6 semesters.
It's been our challenge at the tech center, having the really low enrollment courses. And so, this year we've trimmed down, we've got our classes, most of our classes are up over the
Oh, yeah.
7, 8, whereas last year we had a number of classes that were well below the 7
Right.
number.
So I guess that's kind of what I'm thinking about, is those are in that semester average.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So
That
could.
doesn't change it, it's the enrollment number that you have, is what Nika's saying here. So if we have 100 kids, if we keep the 109 kids that we have right now, we'll have the same Perkins allocation. Doesn't matter whether we have 5 programs, 10 programs, or 20 programs, it's the number of children.
Okay.
Which kind of, it's an interesting thought. If you look at programs that are small and then you really want to have, I think it would be better to have 6 programs, say, or, I'm just saying 6, but however many, 7, right now we have 9. You had a group of programs that had a large enrollment that were really what the students want to do would be a better bang for your buck than to have a number of programs spread out with not a ton of students. And so when I started here, that's what we had, and then we cut back some programs, and then, this conversation about, I don't want to do that to criminal justice, that's why I want to get those numbers up, but that's why it could potentially be at risk because of that. So, and then the idea is that when students apply, they apply with a first and second choice. It's how you have to fill out the application. So let's say they apply for criminal justice or health careers. Let's use health careers because I'm hopeful criminal justice will pull through. But let's say we have 3 kids who apply for health careers as a first choice, but then they do criminal justice as a second choice because they end up that they want to be an EMT and they want to see if they can do an independent study, doing some medical career kind of stuff while also doing criminal justice. We could probably make that work. So then they're going to sign up for that program, and that program will fill. So instead of having 2 programs where we've got like 4 kids here and 5 kids here, do you know what I mean? It just makes more sense. And the interest right now is really in electrical, diesel, construction's been growing, which is really nice. And oh my gosh, fabrication, welding, and design has been growing. This is this instructor's 2nd year here, and I think word's really getting out about the instructor, his the knowledge that he brings. He used to work for NASA. He's just a really cool teacher. He's got tons of amazing equipment. The kids are doing these really cool projects, and they're telling their friends, and then their friends are asking to join the class. So it's been really word of mouth, I feel like, that's gotten some growth there, and I expect will continue. They actually just got a new student today who transferred into their class. So that's been kind of a quiet class that's been gaining popularity, which is nice.
Since the Veritech Center didn't pass this time around, are you planning to continue your partnership with them as far as if there's students
Oh,
from
for
their
sure.
districts that don't have spots?
Absolutely, because every student in Vermont should have access to a tech center, and if they have spots that they have so many applicants that they can't fill, it's only right that the students should have the opportunity to come here. And we have that great bus.
Right, that's what I was going to say, is in
Yeah.
continuing the bus.
Oh,
and all that.
yes. Definitely continuing the bus. It's in the budget for next year, and the bus has been a great success. The partnership has been great, so, yeah, 100%. Yeah. Any thoughts? Any other ideas on the advertising for criminal justice piece?
Looks like you're winding down.
All right, sounds good. Well, thank you so much for being here tonight. Really appreciate it. Great. All right, well, call the meeting to a close. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Alex and Orca, I'm going to shut us down from this link for a minute, and I will open it back up in 5 minutes for the OSSD meeting.